Lecture 2. Theme: The Roman Conquest of Great Britain and its influence on different aspects of the British society. Aim: to introduce students with the impact of the Roman conquest of Great Britain on different aspects of the British society. Plan of the lecture: 1. Caesar's expeditions. 2. The arrival of the Romans. 3. The rule of the Romans. 4. The departure of the Romans. Caesar's expeditions. BY 56 BC, the Roman general and political leader Gaius Julius Caesar had almost completed his conquest of Gaul. But Gallic resistance was hard to break and was being strengthened by help from Britain. Julius Caesar led his forces into Britain in 55 BC and again in 54 BC. On both occasions, he landed in Kent. In 54 BC, he advanced inland and captured Weathampstead, near present-day St Albans, Hertfordshire. But a rebellion in Gaul forced him to withdraw from Britain. At the time Caesar landed, Britain, which the Romans called Britannia, consisted of tribal communities ruled by kings or queens. The country's importance as a trading center was already well known, but probably grew after Caesar's expeditions. The Romans did not invade Britain again until nearly 100 years after Caesar's 2 expeditions. They then occupied the southern part of the island for more than 350 years. During this period, Britain was a province of Rome. It was ruled by Roman governors and defended by Roman armies and fleets. The arrival of the Romans. The Roman Emperor Claudius ordered the conquest of Britain in AD 43. AD Anno Domini, Latin in the year of Christ. At the Battle of the Medway, the Romans defeated the tribes of southeastern Britain led by Caratacus. Claudius himself marched in triumph into Colchester, where many tribal chiefs submitted to him. The Romans then advanced northwards and westwards from London, building roads and establishing forts. Caratacus fled to the southern part of present-day Wales. There, he headed a tribe called the Silures and resisted the Romans until AD 51, when he was defeated and captured. By AD 61, the Romans controlled the country as far north and west as the Humber and Severn rivers. Between AD 71 and 79, the Romans subdued western Britain. Gnaeus Agricola, appointed governor in AD 78, advanced northwards to the Firth of Forth and the Firth of Clyde. In the AD 120s, Emperor Hadrian built a wall from the Solway Firth to the River Tyne to defend Roman Britain from raids by the Picts and other tribes of northern Britain. From AD 140 to 142, during the reign of Emperor Antoninus Pius, Roman forces built a second defensive wall from the Firth of Forth to the Firth of Clyde as defenses against Picts and Scots, but they could not hold it against tribal attacks and eventually abandoned it. The Picts, from Latin Picti painted, lived in east and northeast. They were their descendants of pre-Celtic natives and spoke a Celtic language. During and soon after Roman invasion they seem to have developed 2 kingdoms north of Firth of Forth. By the 7th century there was a united Pictland. It is famous for its beautifully carved memorial stones and crosses, the round stone towers broches, and the underground stone houses weems. The union of the lands of modern Scotland began in 843 when Kenneth I, King of the Scots, became also King of the Picts. He joined Pictland to Scotland to form the Kingdom of Alba. The rule of the Romans. Not all of Britain was firmly in the hands of the Romans. In the south and southeastern parts Roman influence was greatest, while in the north and west the country remained much untouched. The Romans failed to conquer northern Britain and sent no expeditions to Hibernia, Ireland. Southern Britain, as was mentioned above, was considerably influenced by Roman civilization. There, the Roman way of life spread from the towns to the countryside. The Romans imposed their own way of life and culture, making use of the existing Celtic aristocracy to govern, and encouraging this ruling class to adopt Roman dress and the Roman language Latin. It was during this time that the Scots migrated from Ireland to Scotland, where they became allies of the Picts and opponents of the Romans. This division of the Celts into those who experienced direct Roman, the Britons in England and Wales, and those who did not, the Gaels in Ireland and Scotland, may help to explain the development of two distinct branches of the Celtic language. Many towns were built by the Romans, which were connected by good roads. Some of these roads still exist to this very day. For example, Watling Street from London to Chester, or Icknield Way connecting London with Cirencester. Most British towns with names ending with Chester were, in Roman times, fortified camps. The Romans built most towns to a standardized pattern of straight parallel main streets that crossed at right angles. The forum, marketplace, formed the center of each town. Shops and such public buildings as the basilica, public hall, baths, law courts, and temples surrounded the forum. The paved streets had drainage systems, and fresh water was piped to many buildings. Some towns had a theater for animal fights, gladiator shows, and plays. Houses were built of wood or narrow bricks, and had tiled roofs. In some houses, hot air from a furnace was conducted through brick pipes under the floor to provide heat. The largest of the towns was called Londinium. It began life as a Roman fort at a place where it was possible to cross the River Thames. Many believe that here was a Celtic settlement called Lindin, which meant Lake Fort, and which the Romans changed into Latin. The departure of the Romans. Roman rule in Britain ended when the Roman Empire declined. Massive migrations of less civilized peoples, such as the Goths, Huns, and Vandals, had for years been putting pressure on the frontiers of Rome's provinces. In the 300s, Germanic tribes penetrated into Rome's western provinces. During the same period, Saxon pirates from Germany raided the southeastern coast of Britain. In 368, Pictish tribes severely damaged Hadrian's Wall and destroyed much of northern Roman Britain. A Roman army quickly restored order, but its control soon lapsed. Roman forces withdrew steadily from Britain to Gaul and Italy. By 400, Hadrian's Wall and the forts of Cambria were abandoned. By 407, almost all the Roman soldiers had left Britain. In 410, people in the towns appealed to Rome for protection against the Saxons. But the Romans replied that Britain had to see to its own defense. Rome itself was being attacked by Goths. Despite their efforts, Romanized Britons were in time easily conquered by the Saxons and related Germanic tribes called Angles and Jews. The Anglo-Saxons destroyed Roman culture wherever they settled. Consequently, the Roman occupation had few lasting effects on Britain, except for good roads in the southern part of the country, and the survival of the Christian Church in Wales and Cornwall. One reason why Roman Britannia disappeared so quickly is probably that its influence was largely confined to the towns. In the countryside, where most people lived, farming methods had remained unchanged, and Celtic speech continued to be dominant. The Roman occupation had been a matter of colonial control rather than a large-scale settlement.